happening, everybody? This is Patrice on My Embellished Life. Welcome or welcome back to my channel where I show you guys all of my sewing shenanigans and whatever else tickles my fancy. Thank you so much for stopping by and decided to embark on this incredible journey with me. Okay, guys, now I know that summer is gone, but I do have some clean up to do. Yes, I need to tell you guys about my summer and all of the sewing shenanigans that took place in summer. Yes. So if that's something you're interested in, let's get in it. Okay, you guys, so I know I promised you this video about what I've been up to this summer, and I'm here to deliver. So I'm hoping that I don't disappoint you guys. So my summer, it's been a busy one. I wasn't able to post any videos, and that wasn't intentional, but I was so busy. I gave my sewing machine a run for its money to the point that I had to actually purchase another sewing machine so I can keep up. Oh my goodness. So I didn't engage in any garment sewing, but I definitely had different sewing going on. So let me just tell you quickly about what I did this summer, and we can just call it a day. Yes. So in my summer plans, the video that I did with my sewing plans for what I wanted to do for the summer, I did explain that I was taking part in a summer expo that was a part of my local fabric store. They have a sewing and craft center where we do sewing classes for children and adults. We do quilting classes, macrame classes, crochet classes, jewelry making classes. And I think I told you guys I was a jewelry making instructor. Yes, but I'm also a part of the coordinating team of the Sewing and Craft Center. So every summer we do have day camps for children and teenagers. I think it's from ages 8 to either 15 or 16. And for the summer, they can come and learn or improve their sewing skills. They learn different types of craft, and at the end of the summer, we host an exhibition, so they're able to invite their parents and their other members of their family, and we also invite the entire community to come out and see what these young people are producing. A lot of time you hear a lot of negativity surrounding the younger generation, but there are some, you give them the tools that they need and things that they're interested in, they can surprise you. So, so this summer, like any other, we did an exhibition, and we also had a booth where there were handmade crafts, handmade items, for sale. So, I was responsible for creating 4 quilts. I did some wishbone pillows. I did some oven mitts. There were pattern weights. There were macrame bags. There were all sorts of things. No, I didn't do the macrame and the other crafts, but there was a plethora of items on sale. So I'm just going to tell you about those items that I made for that expo, as well as other quilts that I made besides those for the expo. So hopefully I'll be able to wrap this up in a short time. So before I show you the expo stuff, let me talk about the 2 quilts that I did outside of those. So first of all, my sister's quilt is completed. Listen, I am so happy that I was finally able to complete that bad boy so she could get off my back. You understand me? But as soon as she got it, she gave me other things that she wanted to do. But anyway, I was super glad that I was able to complete her quilt and she got it. I love the end results of that quilt. Listen, it was definitely a labor of love, and I'm super, super glad that she loved that quilt. So, yay me! Her quilt is finally finished. The other quilt that I did, and listen, this was not supposed to happen. I did this quilt, I think, in either 2 or 3 days. Listen. Oh, so what happened? So my church had a host an annual, convention, conference, whatever you want to call it. And one of the visitors, pastor's family, his daughter joined our dance group for when we were doing our ministration. And as a thank you gift, I decided, you know what, let's get something for her. But we couldn't decide what to give her. And like I said, this was our last minute. We couldn't decide what to give her when we discreetly asked about things, things that we thought that would be made as suitable gifts. She already had them. So we were like, what to do. And you know what? Something just told me, you know what? It's gonna take a lot, but just make her a quilt. Make her a quick quilt, and I think she'll appreciate it. So that's what I did. I went under a time crunch. I was under heavy pressure, I tell you, and I finished a heart quilt in 2 days. 2 days. Let me tell you, my body wasn't happy. But to be able to see her face when she got the gift, she so much appreciated it. So for me, it was well worth it. So those are the 2 quilts that I did outside of the expo stuff. Okay, let's go to the items that I made for the exhibition. Okay, so like I said, I did quilts, I did the wishbone pillows, and I also did oven mitts. So I did 3 quilts, and then one of them was done by my sewing mentor. So the first quilt, Pat, use your words. So let me go back. So I usually do like baby quilts or child quilts for these expos, basically because they're quicker to make up, and they're just easy, and the community, they gravitate towards baby and children quilts faster. So yeah, I did some baby quilts. I did a children quilts. So the first one, I absolutely love it. It was an ABC 1, 2, 3 quilt. It was just made with basic. I think there were 5-inch squares, and I put them together. It was different shades of blues and greens and I think yellows as well. Of course, I'll pop the pictures so you can see. And that quilt was a lovely quilt. That quilt went off the rack like nothing. The second quilt, which I also love, I made it using up some jelly roll scraps that I had along with the main fabric. Now, for those of you who are not quilting, you might ask, now Pat, what are jelly rolls? Then let me tell you what jelly rolls are. So basically there are strips that are cut 2.5 inches wide. Okay, so this is a project a next quilt that I'm working on, that I'm using jelly rolls, but I'm just going to show you. So these are jelly rolls. The strips are jelly rolls, and I'm currently sewing them together before I cut it out. So these are jelly rolls, and it comes in a pack that looks like this. Okay, right? And I love me some jelly rolls because I usually use jelly rolls for my binding, right? Love them. So I was trying to use up some scraps, and I decided to put it into a quilt. And that quilt as well, one of my favorites that I've done for the year. Absolutely love it. Again, it went like nothing. Now, the third quilt that I did, it was a larger quilt, and it was a larger quilt because I completed it a few years ago. It was one of my first quilts. It's a log cabin quilt. So it was one of my first quilts when I was just in the beginning stages of quilting. I did some mistakes with some of the measurements. And you know what? Sometimes I'm that person. I'm like, you know what? I made some mistakes. I'm not in the mood to go back to correct. Let me just chalk it up as a learning experience. And so when I do the other one, I know how what to do the next time. So that quilt was in storage behind God's back. And my quilting instructor and sewing mentor kept telling me, bring that quilt, we will fix it, we will fix it. So I finally brought it out of storage and give it to my quilting instructor to fix. And she fixed it, and we were able to put on the backing and everything. And so what people were like, well, Pat, this is one of your first quilts. This should be sentimental. Why aren't you keeping it? I don't know. I just said, let me just donate it to this cause, because you know what, the monies for this, we use it to maintain the program. So we buy fabrics and the different tools in order to keep the cost minimal. And right now we are trying to invest in a long arm quilting machine. So I'm like, let me just donate it to the cause. So that went there. The quilt turned up beautifully after she did the corrections. And then the final one was a quilt that was done by my sewing mentor, that she used the territorial fabric. You guys know that. I showed you guys the fabric already. So that quilt as well, that people loved as well. So those are the quilts that we had in the exhibition. Now, I don't know if I mentioned to you guys that we are actually having a pop-up shop in October. So I am trying to crank out some stuff once again. Oh my goodness, it's just never ending over here. So those were the quilts. And then I told you guys that I did some oven mitts as well. Listen, those things, those bad boys, they move quickly. Listen, if you want to do set up a craft booth, I would highly recommend doing pot holders and oven mitts. Now, I prefer making oven mitts than the pot holders. Don't ask me why. But yeah, those are very good items to have for craft booths. So like I said, we do have a pop-up shop coming up again in October. So let me just show you one of the oven mitts that is completed. So this is one of the mitts. Yes, so I'm almost finished it. You see, I've done the quilting on it and everything. It's a quick make. What takes up the most time, in my opinion, is doing the quilting. So this one already has the insole right in there. I just need to insert the lining and put the binding and the loop on it, and it's completed. But yeah, I love me some oven mitts. Yeah, so I've been working on some oven mitts, and oven mitts were also included in the exhibition as well. Like I said, quick and easy craft items to make. The final set of items that I contributed were wishbone pillows. Some people also call them dog bone pillows. And they moved off the table like nothing. These items are very popular, especially among the elderly population. I mean, anybody could use them, but they're often used, to prop their heads up, or they're used to provide back support. They can also be used to elevate the feet. They're also used to take pressure off the lower body to reduce bed sores, and so on and so forth. So I made a few of them. I think I made like 10 of them, and they moved like nothing. Oh my goodness, I was so happy for that. And right now I do have an order to make some for our elderly home, which is about 19 or something like that. So I'm currently trying to cut out the fabric also for that. Let me tell you, it's always something going on over here. So those were the wishbone pillows. You know what? They actually can be used for traveling as well. You know, you have the regular travel neck pillow, but these can also be used as traveling pillows as well, and I absolutely love them. These are also an excellent item as well to add to your craft boot if you're thinking about ideas. So yeah, those were the items that I did in my video. Then when I was talking about my plans, you know, I didn't get to complete all of them because I was so busy this summer with this, and you know, I had a busy work schedule as well, so I wasn't able to get my bag completed, although I did attempted to make a clutch. Whew, I can't find it, but I did attempt to make a clutch. I'm gonna make it again. I think the interfacing that I used, I really didn't like. It had some bubbles and stuff going on, and I just didn't like the end product. I'm not sure where that clutch is right now. Again, that might be somewhere behind guard back, but yeah, but I didn't get to do my backpack. Like, I wanted to do a crochet backpack. I didn't get to do that. I didn't get to do my embroidery denim jacket, although I've been making denim jacket as well, because I had a few orders to do the Atina's jacket with the BVI territorial fabric for females, and then for males I use the Simplicity jacket, you know, the one from Mimi. So I did do a few jackets. I thought I said I didn't do any garments. Well, I didn't do any garments for me, but yeah. I did some of those as well, but yeah, I wasn't able to complete my entire list for my plans, and but it's all good. It's all good, you know. Things happen, and that doesn't mean that I can't um, continue those plans. So yes, I think that is what I'm going to do. But I did had a very eventful summer, and like I said, the work continues because there's a pop-up shop that is coming up soon in October, and I'm just here trying to get ready for it. Also, I'm back on my garment sewing as well, so we'll see we'll see what's we'll see what's happening over here. But anyway, yes, so I hope that answer your question about where I've been throughout the summer and what shenanigans I managed to get myself into. Yes, so if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be aware of all of my shenanigans. Yes. Okay, guys, it's a busy day for me, and I have some sewing to do. So I hope you have a lovely day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Think lovely thoughts. Keep on smiling, and always remember to make beautiful and wonderful things. All right, lovies, I'm out of here. Bye.